Well, here's the back to the future story of the entire week. When the Wall Street Journal ran a story yesterday proclaiming that Hillary Clinton would make a comeback at the 2024 election, political commentators were caught on the hop. But after some digging, some of them reported that the prospect was real. Now, as we know, Hillary has not really ever recovered from her narrow loss to Donald Trump. And when you consider how poorly Joe Biden's poll numbers are already, and the fact that Kamala Harris is not setting the world on fire, it does open the door for Hillary to pitch herself as a change candidate for the Democrats. Now, I wanted to get to Barbara Heineback on this score. Barbara, as you may know, is a former White House advisor from the Clinton administration. She knows about this area intimately, but she's also been following, as most Clinton staff have, the future and the pathway for Hillary Clinton. And I've got to say, Barbara has an insight on this, and I'd be interested to get that insight. Barbara, welcome.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm very, very well. Did the Wall Street Journal prediction surprise you, Barbara?
Well, after my first laugh, I thought, oh gosh, she's back. But then I thought, oh, this is just for a laugh. But then I remembered how ambitious Hillary Clinton is. There's a lot to be said about her baggage, but when it comes to ambition and a person that is really, she has been running for the presidency and wanting to be president for at least 40 or 45 years. When her husband, Bill Clinton, first became president, Hillary was giving out, I wish I had one of the flyers that her team was passing around, because within his first 6 months of presidency, Hillary's team was going around and they sound like parrots. Yeah. Well, when Hillary's president, So we have to look at the history. For 50 years, what has she accomplished? During her presidential debates, she was asked what are her biggest accomplishments, and she could not come up with one answer during that debate. A few days after, she was in a one-on-one interview with someone, asked the same question, and once again, she had no answer. So as Secretary of State, she botched the Benghazi deal when there were several people, the ambassadors, several staff who were killed in an ambush, and she just didn't even pick up the phone. They had to call several times. That was a big mess. There were mistakes being made. She's going to have the baggage, I think, of Bill Clinton for some of his shenanigans with Jeffrey, Weinstein, not Weinstein, but Epstein.
Epstein and Monica Lewinsky. Can I just butt in there, Barbara, for a second? Let's tick some boxes here. Hillary has not gotten over the loss. And there was a video that came out last year that showed she's still infatuated about losing. And in just 12 months, Joe Biden's numbers are appalling and his isolation from the media is laughable. And I would have thought by now Kamala Harris would be a little bit more impressive than she has been. So do you think that she could become, the alternative to sticking with one of those previous two?
What I think is going on right now with the Democrat Party and the DMC, they have no one to put forward, but they know the one person who can get press, who can keep people talking about the Democrat Party since Joe Biden, hasn't done anything, is Hillary. I think they are really scrambling to figure this out. And there's no one to come to the fore. Well, we've got Sleepy Joe and Brainless that are leading the party. They don't have one win. Look at the border situation. Biden has been trying to pass an economic package for a whole term, more than 3 months. That has not worked. Taxes are high and interest rates are going up.
Inflation.
People cannot afford gas or food or beef. And we're looking at a very dilapidated party that is really, I think, on the fence. And they're trying to buy time to find someone. There are a few candidates in the Republican Party, but what would be, I don't know whether to call it hilarious or the next Civil War, if you had Trump and Hillary because both people feel like they did not really lose the election.
Well, there's a thought, Barbara, there's a thought. What's the chance then that we have this 2016 rematch between Trump and Clinton?
It would be interesting. It would be very interesting.
What an
And
understatement.
I'm hoping that greater minds will come up with another scenario, because we see what Sleepy Joe has been doing. And I think Hillary is past her time. And the voter rights election, I don't know if you have a minute to talk about what
No, I
happened in
don't.
Georgia.
Not tonight, Barbara. But there are problems that Joe's facing, and it's looking disastrous for him. Just quickly, yes or no? Will he last this term, do you think?
I think they're going to try to get him across the map,
Right.
until the finish, because they don't want, Kamala, they thought, maybe there would be someone who would step in, but that was before Joe Biden opened his mouth and said, if you select me as a candidate, I'm going to bring a Black woman on board.
Yeah.
And then he looked around and there wasn't a lot in the pile for the presidency from which to choose.
Correct.
So the
Barbara,
DNC
I've got to leave it there. I'm
went
sorry to
nuts.
interrupt. I've run out of time. But Barbara Heineback, thank you so much for that insight.
Thank you, Chris. Good to see you.
Good to have you on the program.